So for filleting the fish, you have to have a really sharp filleting knife, and then you need a good sharp sturdy knife. And you got, most important thing to remember, there's the spine bone right down the middle, and then in the front half of the fish is the rib cage that comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut along each side of the fin to the back, and then when we get about this far back, you can go all the way down and cut all the way back to the tail. Then you have to kind of peel it back and get the fillet off. So that's the deal. So you start with a cross cut up here, front of the fin above the gill, and then I also cut here because it makes it easier to get the fillet out later. So you go this way because the scales all run back that direction, and you cut. It's tough, the skin is tough, but you make a cut in the fish around the gill, just a little bit behind the gill and not too deep on the bottom because you don't want to cut into the belly of the fish. Now we do the same on the other side. Get that fin out of the way. And boy, you got to be careful you don't cut yourself because these are sharp knives. Okay. Now we go around there. Make sure it's loose and they're slimy. Okay, then I start on either side of the fin, but because it's, once you have one half of the fish cut, it's hard to do the other side. So I make both starting cuts first for about a ½ inch on either side of the spine bone to get that started. And you get a good firm hold on the fish, right like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to work right down the midline, and you can feel when you bump down onto the ribs. So I'm cutting right back here, and I'm bumping down onto the ribs, and then pretty soon we'll get to the part of the fish where there's no rib anymore, it's just tail. Still cutting. And it's a little tough. Yeah, stay on the right side of the midline. There. Now I'm down all the way. Now the knife is all the way down to the bottom. And I'm continuing to and I'm pushing in with this hand because I want to get as much of the meat next to the bone as possible. All the way down to the bottom. There. Now you kind of open them up. There's the fillet. And I cut the bottom out. Now all that's left to do for the fillet is to get it off the rib cage and to cut it on the bottom. But that can be tricky. So you hold them open on the top, and then you just keep working the knife along that rib cage. Now what I do is I grab them like this. It's a little hard to see. And I'm just going like this right down along the rib cage, trying to get as much of the fillet as possible. We don't want to waste the fish meat. It's coming off pretty nice. And all the bones are staying behind, which is nice because we don't want to eat the bones. And you keep working. There we go. And now we got the bottom of it. And now I'll just cut the fillet off. Like this. Oop. And here basically we have all the muscle off half the fish. So we rinse that off. Okay, there's one half.